These are the 5 things that can kill love in your marriage over time. Number 1, comparison. Never compare your husband to another man. Never compare your wife to another woman. We are built differently. We love differently. Our knowledge about love is different. Don't compare your marriage to another marriage. Don't compare your own marriage to a friend's marriage. Comparison can take away happiness because you begin to see the things that are in your friend's marriage that are not available in your own marriage. And you begin to think that your marriage is not a good marriage or is not a better marriage than that marriage. Your marriage is your marriage. It's not their marriage. It's not the marriage of the community. It is your marriage. Number 2 is lack of communication. Every marriage will have problems. Every marriage will have its own challenges. But you have to understand that we can become better together by communication. If you don't communicate, I will not know what is wrong with you. If the husband does not communicate with the wife, if the wife does not communicate with the husband, you may never know what is the challenge. You may never know how your spouse is doing in those days. So lack of communication will lead to assumptions. You will assume that he doesn't love you anymore. You will assume that he doesn't care about you. You will assume that she is cheating. You will assume. Assumptions will give birth to bitterness. You have to understand that if we don't communicate, we are going to assume. And when we assume, it's going to be a disaster. So there is need for you and your partner to communicate about what is happening, to communicate about what is wrong, to communicate about how you're going to move from where you are to go to the next level. Communication. Number 3 is distance. Distance plays a very big role in killing and destroying love, joy, and happiness in marriage, because if you remember, during the lockdown, there is what was called social distancing. There had to be a physical distance between you and the other person. There is also emotional distancing. There is also intimate distance. That there is a gap between you and your husband. There is a gap between you and your wife. There is a gap between partners who are living together. You are living in the same house, but there is no affection. Lack of intimacy. It is very important that the husband and the wife are 100% putting effort in becoming intimate with one another. Intimacy is very important in marriage. Intimacy, having days and times to spend time together, having days and times to sleep together. It's very important that intimacy is not neglected, is not forgotten in the marriage. Because if you forget to be intimate, you are drifting apart. You are increasing the distance between you and your partner. So it's very important that people make efforts to be intimate, to be deliberate about your intimacy with your partner. Talk about it during the course of the day. Think about it. Plan about it. Spice it up. Go somewhere. Try by all means to bring about a shift, and something beautiful will come out. Number 4 is that lack of romance. Now, when we talk about these things, we are talking about the dullness of characters in some marriages, that the husband has no sense of romance. The wife has no sense of romance. Everybody is just, I would say, old-fashioned. When I say old-fashioned, I'm talking about people that just think about going to work, coming back home, good morning, good evening, goodbye. That's all they know. This is your food. Let us go and bath. That's all. There is no sense of romance. There is no sense of excitement about the marriage. There is no sense of bringing about energy you had when you were first boyfriend and girlfriend. The sense of romance, the ability to look at your partner as if it's your first time looking at them. That form of character that creates an environment where you feel appreciated by your person. The ability to come back home with some chocolates, with some flowers. The lack of romance, the atmosphere of romance is not available. looking at your partner, commenting on your partner, showing affection on your partner, hugging. So many people right now, they don't even remember when was the last time they hugged. They don't even remember the last time they kissed. All they know is working, coming back home, sleeping. Last but not least is lack of appreciation. Many a times, the husband is always working, trying to take care of the family. And because of that, because we assume and we believe that it is his role, because of that, we do not appreciate the efforts. We don't appreciate the hours he puts in the work to pay the bills, to do this, to cover this, to cover that. That lack of appreciation discourages the husband. And also the wife, taking care of the children, cleaning the house, doing this, doing that, making sure that everything is in place in the house. Because we also assume that it is her role and her duty to do that. And we lack to appreciate what she does because we think that she's supposed to do it. Because we don't appreciate each other in our respective roles, you would discover that it then goes on even into other areas. It even goes on into any other area of your marriage. And that lack of appreciation character builds up over time. And as it builds up over time, people no longer appreciate each other when they do something extraordinary or when they do something that they are supposed to do it, but they are doing it exceptionally. They are doing it wonderfully. And because we do not communicate and because we do not appreciate each other, it kills the affection, it kills the love over time.